This really is a good looking lithograph. I just can't stop checking it out. But that's not the reason for this video. Come on, let's go for a walk. Hello, I'm CJ Miller. I'm gonna be taking a walk in downtown Shreveport. Across the Red River is beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. And, it's a nice day for it. And it's yeah, right around twilight, just before sunset. I'm excited. I have some goals set up for next year. Well, some. I want to set up a goal for the fall, and I'm working on it. Uh, that's more of a partnership. Uh, I want to take a cruise in the fall. Uh, that depends upon if my friend, that I'm not going to name right now, if he's able to go. Then let's take the same cruise and everything like that and share expenses, and I'll be able to do that. If not, that's okay, because I am looking forward to doing the same thing that I did earlier this year around the same time next year. Just before spring break really kicks in. What I want to do is I want to be able to go back to Miami, and I want to be able to take the same types of cruises that I did last year. I really enjoyed the cruising around the Bahamas, the different ports in the Bahamas. So that was fun. But that's my obsession right now. And it was so funny because I actually have just come back. Honestly, uh, it's I spent most of March there, as a matter of fact. Uh, well, I spent about half of March. I went towards May. I spent 3 weeks, so that last week of February and into March. I spent just 1 week shy of a month. But then when I think about the traveling to and from so whatever. Gonna have to time it though, because my rent that I pay my rent uh, on this payment tool still does not work. We don't know what's going on. I do. They've got a glitch that they can't find. Nothing to do with me, and what they need to do is delete all of my information, my entire account, out of their system. They need to fully delete it. Keep the records and everything like that. Back them up, whatever they need to do, and then go back in and re-add them when they start up a new account. But as a matter of record. But they're being stubborn. They don't want to do it. And it's not the ladies that work in the management office, and it's not even so much the people at Bayou Grand home office or anything like that. It is the technical support people that cannot seem to communicate within themselves. It's a company called Paymentus, and they provide a portal. The portal that I would give my information to pays to Paymentus, and then Paymentus turns around and gives. I don't know how it works, but whatever. But shall we first go to? Yes, let's do that. Let's go to the Asian Gardens and see what's going on in the Asian Gardens. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video till I get over there. Okay, so here we are, and at a feature of our lovely city. I've taken this walk a few times, called the Asian Gardens. I can go in from up here. I can go in from up here. There's two ways. But I'm going to enter from this side. I'm already here. just gonna kind of walk around and check it out for a little bit, and then I'll probably stroll over to the river. You know, no telling who we'll run into. Um, it's one of the things when I'm out walking around and I just kind of wanna, you know, kind of calm down. This is one of the places that I come to, and it's got all these little stone garden statues and figurines and things like that. It's kind of hard to see this time of night. Yeah. See if I can't get a light to come on. There we go. So yeah, the last time I was here, I didn't have enough battery to turn on the light. So I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's bright. It has depleted in aesthetics over the years that I've known that it's been here. But I do enjoy that we have something like this. This is one of the more interesting park and garden areas, which is not very large, but it's just really interesting, you know. And it's from different parts of Asia, most of these fixtures, and I don't know much about it to be explaining it. I just know that I find it nice. I find it very interesting. You know, and it's upkept by a consortium where they come in and they upkeep it and maintain it, and the flowers are great and everything, and it's done really well. Here's an egg that looks like a little flower and some scenic and stuff. You know, it's decorative. You know, I don't fully understand it. So if it's got specific ideas behind it, then I look at it with my naivete and I find some abstract meaning in it, you know, which is something that can happen. Like this one, to me, could be leaves and everything, but also, I don't know, elephants, you know, Indian elephants maybe, peacock, maybe. I do not know. But she's working a loom, it looks like, maybe. Another type of bird. I wasn't like blowing to be blowing. A little bug landed on my lens. The moon is very close to a gibbon's waxing onto a full. That's what you call it when it's just a little beyond 3/4 of a moon full, and it's growing, waxing gibbons, and then at another night or so it'll be a gibbons to a full. So whatever, there's different names and everything like that, but yeah, it's a simple term. You would just call it a waxing moon if you didn't want to get too particular. I would like to see these be more straightened. That was my little good deed for the day. I would say nobody's supposed to doing a good deed and then having it broadcast to the world kind of negates any sort of good karma that comes back. It's kind of like when you pray for the purpose of prayer or whatever. That was just an incidental thing. Um, I don't know that it really matters. Some of these planters are a little off kilter or whatever, but whatever. Check these things out. If you know what these are, what they mean, I'm open to hear about it. I never really get on this side. Of what's going on. Now, so this is a park where at night a lot of people come when they live outside. So I just try not to be a disruption if I see somebody resting or something. Many of us have been there. I've been there, you know. So I like these planters. There's also all sorts of cool stuff. I'm going to pause this and I'll catch up when I get to these other planters. So they look very similar, but they're not the same. I don't think they are. Then we have these trees lined with places to sit. It's really kind of neat. This one doesn't have a tree. Did it? I don't know. I wonder why. Oh. I wonder what that's about. Okay, oh well. So there's a little area where you can drive behind here in a car and see what's going on, get a little closer to the back side of these things, of these displays. But it's not an actual functional gazebo, but I suppose it provides shade to some things that could grow in there. So I'm out doing a health walk. This time, basically, I'm not feeling like super stressed or anything like that, but I just want to keep my physical activity up. Mike and I have taken a break from the gym for a little bit, but we should be getting back to it by tomorrow night. I typically go on nights when I can go with him. I'm very, very close to keeping that gym membership, but going back to the YMCA downtown, because what that would do is that would enable me to go and do the workouts that I do with Mike, but also would motivate me to go to the gym more on my own, because I'd have access to a gym that's just right around the corner from my house. We have a fitness center where I live, but it's anytime that I've ever been there, well, more often than not, it's always in a shambles. And not some place where I would really want to work out, because it's not really it's really just trashed out. We have a lot of teens and young adults and where I live, and they don't always take care of the amenities. Sometimes in an apartment complex you live with neighbors, and sometimes they don't take care of things, but let's see. Yeah, I guess it's time for me to go back up the street. Probably what I'll do is I'll probably since I entered this way, I'll probably exit the other way on the side here and just kind of walk through downtown a little bit. A little different kind of way that I normally do. And then make my way over to the river and check out what's going on. So it's like a little parking lot here for some of the businesses. And there are people that live. There's a light, so something goes on up there. I don't know. I don't know. You never can tell. A lot of these buildings, they look empty, they look uninhabited, but then sometimes there are people living in them, you know. And another block or so over, when we're in the thickness of downtown, as I like to call it, the downtown proper. I'm actually on the west side of downtown. But yeah, you really kind of get to see, hey, there are a lot of businesses, but a lot of the buildings that used to be businesses, they're now more residential than business. And cool, there's a lot of people that live down here. There's a lot of people like up there that kind of convert a business slash home space, so that's kind of cool too. These are kind of neat. These are one of the niftiest things that I love about Shreveport. This is called the Shreveport Common, and Shreveport Common, this used to be all nothing but cement, just all hollowed out cement, and then they came in and they cleared it and they put a walking path. Well, all of this, there was a walking path and then grass. So all this was grass. And there's still a large part of it over there that we'll get to it when I walk. And it's a walking path, almost meditative walking path. So I feel quite comfortable that if I wanted to just come out and go for a walk, taking about 20 or 30 laps, you know, not running, but just walking. I used to do that when I used to, you know, when I didn't really walk all over the city, all over the downtown area when I come out for these walks. I used to do that. And I'm actually happy to see that they put some gates up by the stage. It's beautiful and lit, but sometimes there were people that would squat there. And I don't know if it's still on the backside or not. I'll walk around. I want to make a lap around the park. I just want to check it out. But, yeah, they were kind of making it, you know, people really didn't want to come and use the facility because, especially at night, they didn't want to come in the evening time or whatever because people were gathering there and squatting. But also, not, that wouldn't be the problem, but they were leaving their vandals behind. They were their trash behind, you know, whatever, you know, their trash or whatever. So, you know, that, I guess that, you know, eventually they attracted enough notice that the people who do what they do, and they come in every once in a while, every few years, with some improvements. And I guess the improvements had to do with, hey, let's put some gates up. I guess, you know. But you never know who you run into out here. And see, I find there's no justification in me as a pedestrian when I'm out walking and I see someone in my neighborhood and it's obvious they're living outside or something like that. If they say hello or I say hello or something, I see there's more equipment in there too for maybe that's what it is. There's more equipment and stuff, so they're staging for improvements or whatever. When I do see somebody outside, even if they come up and they are panhandling, which most of the time they don't, because I've been living here long enough that I'm part of, as people know that I'm just part of the community, you know. I don't think there's any reason to be cruel and be horrific to somebody. No reason at all to be emotionally or verbally abusive to somebody. If they make the mistake of asking for money or try to pull a hustle or something like that, I just, I don't believe in kicking somebody when they're down. I see they've also come in and they put up, if I'm not mistaken, I think they put up a gate here. No, they did not. Or did they? I don't know. We're going to find out. So, yeah, you can walk around and come from the park, which is nice. This is the Kavanaugh Center that I'm right behind. It is a resource center for families in trouble. This right here. So this is kind of nice. I can come up and down this back alley here, and still, that's cool. For a moment, I thought they had it blocked off. I was like, I think it's nice to get out and explore my neighborhood, even in ways that I don't always explore it, because it is ever evolving, and there are always improvements happening. And this alley continues. This is the Fairmont building. I'm always talking about when I lived in the Fairmont. And for those of you who are not following my channel when I first started about 4 or 5 years ago, my YouTube channel, if you hang on, let me let this train pass by. Okay, so this is the Shreveport Regional Arts Council building. Used to be a firehouse. That's why the fire, and there's a Dalmatian on the other side. I'll show you, but just on the other side of that street, like maybe a block and a half away, there are train tracks and the train's loud. But when I say that I used to live in the Fairmont building, this is it. And about, well, heck, let's go this way so I can show off the Dalmatian. Not that I've not shown it in a zillion other videos. When I first started making these videos, the apartment complex that I live in, Bayou Grand, they were not there. A lot of that ground had been cleared away of old shotgun duplex houses, singular shotgun duplex houses. They were rotten and antiquated and falling apart, and people would squat in them. And what happened was the studio that's there, that was built to accommodate a movie called The Guardian that was, starring Ashton Kutcher and, Kevin Costner, Dances with Wolves. But it was for the Guardian. He used that location, and he also did the other location that used to be the Shreveport Expo Hall. The Shreveport Expo Hall stopped being used when we built our convention center. This used to be an empty building, and they've turned it into some sort of great place for art displays. And it changes up every once in a while. Right now, black curtains, I can't see anything. with their cheap ass Family Dollar style drapes or whatever they put it. But okay, it's artistic. Tonight they're doing at the Strand a tribute to the Eagles. It's the symphony, and they're doing a tribute to the Eagles. I wasn't interested in going. I didn't go to that one. This also used to be the Salvation Army. I want to say, yeah, it's the Salvation Army, but I also want to say at some point maybe it was a firehouse or something like that. There are lights on I don't know what they do inside of it. It may be a private residence now, or it may, this is stuff that I just have no idea what's going on. And quite frankly, it's none of my business. But there are people that buy these old buildings, these old houses, and they turn them into great private residences. It's almost like what happened in Soho in New York when, or say the CBD district in New Orleans, that central business district, where all the warehouses that were going empty, they were bought and converted into residential style areas, so they became, that happened down here too. The United Jewelers and the Lee Hardware building, I think if I ever move from where I am, it's going to be in one of those buildings that I walk down and check this out all the time. I don't know. Maybe I'll walk down this direction because I'm already headed on this trajectory, and I'll just exemplify that. But let me pause the video until I get a little closer to the river. I don't want to run out of storage space for this video. So the red brick building houses a few different things. There used to be something, I don't know if it's still there, I haven't seen it in a while. It was an organic farm kind of thing or whatever, but it was kind of expensive, so it was not very often that I found myself buying anything from out of there. $30 microgreens. It was not in my budget, I like this mural here. We have a lot of murals in downtown on the side of our buildings, and I like this. I like it. I don't know. It's kind of cool. This used to be where my friends had their Shreveport Trading Company, also known as the Appliques. And I think they moved their business to another location. This is probably my least favorite restaurant, basically because, and I'll just say it, I came there one day to order the lunch special. They took my order. They brought out my salad that comes with the lunch special, and brought me my tea. Then they literally watched me dress my salad and take one bite, and then came over and told me, oh, by the way, we just wanted you to know that we don't have any more of the specials, but we want to offer you something else. And my offense was that they knew that. They watched me eat they served me the salad knowing they didn't have the rest of the meal. And I don't know, I felt it was a little bit of a grift at that point. Like, you come and tell me before you serve my salad that comes with the meal. But when I declined, I felt like, well, I don't really, I don't really want to order a burger or something like that because I'm on a kind of a diet. I just want to do like the salad and the fish, and maybe I'll take the fries home later or something like that. But I was, I'm a keto, so there really wasn't anything on there, things that I could eat. Then they attempted to charge me the price of a dinner salad, which was about the same price as the lunch special. Maybe shy of $1 or $2, but I was like, I'm not going to pay any of it. And I had that conversation. I wasn't too rude about it. I just let them know I kind of objected to being charged the price of a lunch salad that was almost the same price as the special, which I don't, it went through the whole thing. But anyway, ever since then, and that was about 3.5 years ago, it was right after they opened, I just never went back. So if I ever decide to move from where I am. It'll probably be over here. This is the Lee Hardware. Now it is right next to that train track, but inside of the building, it's not bad, you know. Outside, it sounds a lot louder than it does on the inside. And then, so that's the Lee Hardware, and this is their sister building that is the United Jewelers. And I don't know. I know that I'm not going to end up moving over here as long as I'm keyed up about these cruises that I want to take. But if for any reason I ever feel like that I just need to move to a building that's got like elevators instead of the third floor walk up that I'm at, it'll be over here. Because I love downtown. I love living downtown. And yay. One thing about walking downtown, even if you have the light that says you can walk, even if you have that, you always yield the right of way to a car. This is not New Orleans. This is not New York. This isn't LA. This isn't a big city where they're used of pedestrians nearly as much. And so they don't break nearly as much. And so it's really important for the pedestrian to pay attention to the walk and don't walk signs, but also before you just step out, you make sure. I mean, there are clubs and casinos and everything down here. Yes, people do drive while they've been a little inebriated. They shouldn't, but they do. And people, this is the era of distracted driving. It's also the era of distracted pedestrianism. I don't know the word for the verb for actively walking as a pedestrian. But yeah, this is, so pay attention before you step off of that curb into the street. If you're like me and you're walking around and you're vlogging, for safety's sake. See, I've got a light that says it's a red light, and if I wasn't paying attention, I might walk into the middle of it, but there's a sign there that says stop. If you're walking, it's not time for you to walk yet. And this is a hill, and these cars cannot see over that hill. So, people walking around Shreveport, just be aware. Security cameras all over the place down here. It's a very safe place to stroam about. It really is. There are other areas of the town where, you'll hear more about gun violence and stuff like that. You just don't hear that much about it down here. I think in the time that I've lived down here, in the 10 years, there have been 4 incidents of guns being shot off. But I'm not minimizing. But I'm saying that about 3 are, 2 or 3 of those or whatever were like somebody just shooting a gun off into the air or something like that. I think at one point somebody actually did try to shoot somebody, but I just don't hear about that as much as I do in some of the other areas of town, and it's not going to be any surprise to anybody that kind of stuff happens in the areas of town that are, rougher, known to be rougher, like pockets of generational poverty that have been allowed to fester, That's why I'm not necessarily a big fan of gentrification in the way that it upgrades uh, property, and then it's priced sometimes too high for people to afford the rent. But on the other hand, I am not a fan of having whole communities of generational impoverished people, just generation after generation after generation, and what happens is they never get an opportunity to move out of their neighborhoods, and there's never any community renewal in the neighborhoods. So I am talking about, I would like to see some upkeep. It's a better aesthetic for any place if a community gets taken care of, you know. And there's some stuff like that happens in downtown Shreveport. Some community where I used to live, I told you about, they cleared that out to make way for the studio. And then after that was after 2005, we got all of our big contracts and movies and stuff like that came up here, because New Orleans was flooded out and Louisiana did have all the contracts and everything. And we had tax exemptions where, you know, until we ended those tax exemption, we had, like, we would walk around downtown in the daytime, but we would see people producing movies. Says I can walk, but there's a car coming through here, so I'm going to wait. Now I've got a stop sign, but I think I can make it. Okay, but I didn't. If I see a car speeding through, I didn't want to, you know, take that risk. Okay, so I'm in a safe place now. But yeah, where I used to live, that place got gentrified in a way, a community renewal, but with affordable housing, you know. So they're missing the mark, though. They're trying, but they're missing the mark. A place that did it right is the United Jewelers and the Lee Hardware, and that is a place where, you know, where that kind of multi-income kind of community works, where you have people who earn less living in a place where people earn a little bit more, and they're all treated the same, because it's, you know, it's about dignity, and you know, maybe the people who earn more, maybe there's more room in their apartments or something like that, but they got the general idea, you know. But they do maintain the apartments and keep them well and everything. They do somewhat falter at Bayou Grand a little bit sometimes when it comes to maintenance and upkeep of the property and everything. I've had my dealings with that, you know, and because it is a place where it caters to family, that there are a lot of children and teens, and any place you have children and teens, you have more wear and tear on a place, and the owners and the managers and everything that are responsible for maintaining, they don't always really do what they should be doing as far as keeping things up, you know. So it's just that I just moved there about 5 years ago, and I just don't feel like moving so soon after living there. I'm kind of enjoying it. I've got my, you know, I like my place. I'm, you know, having fun with it. I don't want to, you know, every place that I would move to would have its ups and downs, you know. Like if I did move, I would have to sacrifice space, because finding a 2-bedroom the size that I have for the price that I get to pay is a very rare thing. So I put up with, you know, uh, not being able to use the some of the amenities, you know. But it's also my, yeah, it's also my justification if I ever decide to move. If there's ever, it's the way that I would be able to get my deposit back, where a lot of landlords and properties and everything don't want to give back deposits and everything. Just they'll always find a way to not to give a deposit back. But I'm like, hey, I've been living here for all this time and have never been able to use the amenities because they've not been usable. Like our pool that's 3.5 feet deep, so it's good for wading and cooling off and everything. You're not really gonna do any Olympic swimming in it or anything like that, but it would be nice to be able to go out and lay out and catch a little sun. But they never open the pool. The only thing they ever do to that pool is they come and they clean it about once every few months. That's about it. If I show you the pool now, there's like rocks and stuff where that, because it's not maintained and the kids know it, so they don't mind vandalizing it. And, so I don't know. What the potential of that place could be is not near what it is. I don't mean to be ungrateful, but at one point in my life, in my time in history, I will probably pull together enough money to hire movers and a truck, and I will probably move someplace else. But only if I'm ensured that I can find a place that has the same amenities, And that would be the Lee Hardware building, where it actually does have an on-site physical fitness center, a pool, and things like that. And I know, so. Anyway, the grass always looks greener until you get in that other lawn, and then you find out, hey, it's got its specks of brown and gray, as well as everything else, The short of it is, I'm content where I am for the time being. And I know that if I do move, it's not going to be in the middle of this particular administration of the country. I will wait. Until there's a time when funds are a little bit more open. And so I have a king size bed and a queen size bed. Potentially what I could do is use one of the beds in the living room instead of the couch that I always lie around on. But I actually kind of like having a couch, living room furniture too, so I don't know. We'd see. But I'm not going to worry about moving because right now I like the simplicity of it. So I guess what the theme of where I am right now is acknowledging that the grass always looks greener on the other side, but there's always positive vibes to be able to say, hey, the grass looks greener, but at least I've got some grass, that I can look at and tend to or whatever. And if I'm content and well established where I am, then that's good enough. And then there's some acceptance and some reason to be cooperative, But later on down the road, I do know that I will probably want to be moving someplace with an elevator if I'm going to be in a downtown building, simply because people in my family, we're getting older, and though I have no problem sprinting up and down the steps as of right now, anyway, I do have people that I want to come visit, and they don't come visit because it is hard for them to come up those stairs, you know. And so, yay. So, I don't know. Let's see what the goal for that will be soon after this presidential term, and I'm talking about the Republican administration in the White House right now. And we do a little better when there's a Democratic administration going on, just in general. So, well, let's see how that works, and maybe it'll be a better time for me to think about moving at that point. But right now, it's not something I could do. And in the meantime, I'm very secure, and I like my place. You know, I lived in the apartment when I first moved there. I moved in the apartment for about a year and a half before I really started to put things on the walls. You know, just I wanted to kind of get a sense of where things were, or you know, how the place was. You know, going to fan out. So, you know. Okay. This month started out being just blue for Autism Awareness Month. It also started being just blue for Sexual Abuse Awareness Month. Now it's multiple colors, and I don't know, and you know, I think at any given time somebody can say, "Hey, gee, it's you know, National Something Month," you know. Why not, right? There's a pickleball court that's opened up on the boardwalk. I don't play pickleball. I think it's kind of like in between ping pong and tennis. And I know their pickleball was the new thing, but I also feel like it was kind of a trend that's gone on for a couple of years, and I feel like maybe that's gonna kind of not be the trend after a while. I think maybe that's going to kind of taper off, and people are going to be less enthusiastic about pickleball. So my friend Rusty that did those two paintings that I have of the that are inspired by the Regents building in my apartment. This is it. This is like he would his apartment. He would look out one of his windows or whatever, and he would catch sight of the Regents building, and that view inspired you. So artists kind of paint what they're inspired by, what they're surrounded by. Van Gogh, that very famous Starry Night. There are 3 versions of a Starry Night, and maybe even more, but there's 3 main versions of a Starry Night that Van Gogh painted. And the one that most people think of or they're familiar with, that has that weird structure off to the left side that reaches in kind of a spiraling tower type of thing from the ground up to the sky. I think of that as maybe it's the asylum, but he was or whatever. But he was painting the view from his tower when he was in an institution. But he was in an asylum for a while. So yeah. Artists are emotional people. Many of us have been in hospitals. So much so for me that I don't necessarily know that I'm an artist. I just think I do a bunch of recreational therapy. It's a joke that I've made. Okay. I'm just kind of enjoying walking around down here and checking it out. But I'm getting to the end of my time on this video. It's been about 50 minutes, almost an hour. I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, because I never know what's going to happen, what's going to be revealed when I'm talking. It's good to have goals. If there's a goal, like wanting to, looking ahead and saying later on I'm probably going to end up moving or something like that, it would be a good idea to set some funds aside for that, to not get caught last minute. And I will be working on that. And also, because I don't know when or where I'm going to move, I just know that eventually I'll probably want to move again. Even if I am happy and content right now, which is another thing. Being happy and content with where you are and what you have. You know, and enjoying the moment and the day that you're in. It's great to have hope. It's even great to, hope can help you overcome a trauma. If you're living in the midst of a trauma, some forethought and some hope can help you get out of that, that trauma, But also, find grace and appreciation wherever you happen to be, even if, hey, maybe someplace else is bigger. I don't know, maybe I'd move out of this apartment and then I'd move someplace and find out, gee, this is not what I thought at all, But, whatever there is to think about, whatever there is to do, it's good to have options. Give yourself as many options as possible. One of those options would be to set the money aside, even if it's just a little at a time, so that, I'm talking to myself really, so that like somewhere around the end of 2028 or something like that, if I want to move, or 29 or whatever the next election is, if I want to move after that next election, I can have as much help as I want in rent-controlled apartments, but there's not going to be any help at all for the expense of a moving company, and I'm not moving 2 bedrooms worth of furniture by myself. So I'm going to need to save up money for that. So I don't know, but anyway, let me pause the video. I want to say, if you've watched and you've stuck with me, then thank you. God bless you. And, and that's it. I don't really do what I do for the sake of money. I do what I do for the sake of sharing bits of my thought process with the world, my heart, my love for my city, and I want to share those things with you. Okay? Love and light. God bless. Bye.